Hi there, friends. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a good day so far. And thanks for joining me on today's edition of Financial Talk. So, I want to ask you to go back to the beginning of this year, January 2020. And if someone had told you back then that fast forward to right now, that Zoom will then become a household name and it would be the channel in which we celebrate just about any occasion. So, birthday parties, graduations, weddings, showers, even your medical visits, and sadly burials. If anyone had said to you back then that this would be the channel in which we'll be able to conduct sort of the day-to-day things that we used to do freely, would you have believed it? Probably not, right? Because really no one saw this pandemic having such a great impact. That's one. And two, no one thought that it would last for this long. But I think the good thing that has come out of this is that, the advancement in technology has allowed us one way or the other to be able to still stay connected. And I think that's important, that technology has a way of playing a very positive role and can actually do more, I would say, given some of the challenges we're still facing at the moment. So let me tell you a little bit more about that. Over the last few weeks, I've been to the bank, I would say about 2 or 3 times. And I typically don't go into the physical bank, because I tend to do most things online and through the app and through the internet. But I had a couple of things I needed to deal with, and I had to go into the physical branch. When I got there, I met long lines. The first time I was like, oh no, this is not good. And it happened a second time. And I've had to go back to the bank now, and I'm trying to decide how to sort of, find a way around it, because I've been told that I actually need to come into a physical branch. But I don't have any desire to go into a bank because of the long lines. And the long lines are such that you're not even standing inside the bank, okay? When you're lining up to be attended to, you're having to stand outside the bank. And that's, for me, is really unpleasant. It's not a good banking experience, if you will. And it got me thinking about, fintech in general and the different solutions that are out there. Well, more specifically about digital banking, which is really, becoming very popular these days. Digital banking, or neobanks, as some people call them, which is really becoming popular. So what are they, you might ask? Well, digital banks are really just that. They're banks that have no physical branches. So all of your services are delivered through the internet, online. So you can't go into a physical branch to do anything. Everything is done online. Okay? And so you may be wondering, how does it work? Well, depending on what niche that digital bank has decided to focus on, it works in different ways. And I think digital banks are actually a good thing. I mean, they have some very, very good offerings, but there are also some disadvantages, some cons to actually, deciding whether to go digital. But by and large, I think they have present a very unique solution to sort of the way we do things nowadays, especially our banking services, okay? As I said, they're operated solely online or through an app, if you will, digital, as the name indicates. And because of that, they're able to provide certain benefits that your traditional banks are not able to provide, particularly as it relates to fees. Oh gosh, right now, if you conduct any kind of service on your account with your traditional banks, you tend to be charged so many different fees that it becomes very confusing, okay? And with digital banks, you don't have that, and primarily because they're able to offer you the no fee ATM charge, the no fee, transaction, international transfers, and all of that. They're able to do that because they have no overhead costs, and so it minimizes the cost of operations, okay, for them. And also with digital banks, they are licensed, or they should be, and your deposits are actually insured, or they should be, by whatever governing body of whatever zone you live in, okay? So you should always make sure that those two things are a fact, okay? If you are deciding if you want to go, with a digital bank, that they have a license to operate and that they're actually, your deposits are insured, okay? And really the way it works is that your money is not handled by the digital bank, so to speak. Digital banks tend to have relationships with like a traditional bank, one of those traditional banks that have physical branches. So that's where your money actually sits, okay? It doesn't reside with the digital banks, okay? So that's how they operate. But as I said, because they don't have any overhead cost, and normally they have the relationship they have with a traditional bank is how they make their money. They would issue you a debit card, whether it's Visa or MasterCard, and then they would charge a fee to Visa or MasterCard. So they make their money from those folks, okay, not with you. And they typically offer very, nice features such as I said, no fees, no minimum balance. You can even go into overdraft with some of them, and they don't charge you like an overdraft fee. What they'll do is, if you have a savings account with them as well, sometimes they would, if you maybe go over you overdraw your account, your checking account or your deposit account as they call them, then they can take money from your savings account if you have one with them to sort of replace it temporarily, and they don't charge you any fee for that, for overdrawing your account. But normally, typically they would set a limit, okay? But they offer all these cool features that in my mind I was thinking, why aren't more people going digital? And part of the reason, actually before I even get into that, some of the other benefits of digital banks is that, as I said, they don't have any ATM fees. What they would do typically is they would have partner banks that you can actually go to and withdraw money from those specific ATMs. The downside is if you don't know all the partner banks and you go to an ATM that's out of network, then you will get charged for that. You also make money that way, but by and large, they partner with a lot of traditional banks so that you can use their ATM to withdraw cash. But everything else is done online, as I said. In terms of disadvantages, as I said, there's no physical branch. So if you're sort of old school and not a technology lover and doesn't adapt to technology very quickly, and you still want sort of that face-to-face interactions with your bank, you may not enjoy what the digital banks have to offer. So that's one thing. Another thing is that because they're new, they tend to not have a lot of product offerings. So like, getting a home loan or a credit card may not be available, are new. And so they're trying to build up their sort of product offerings. So you may not be able to have all of that. So there are very few digital banks that are like a full-fledged financial services from offering you all the different solutions. I would even argue that some of the traditional banks don't offer the full-fledged financial services, so they're not really a one-stop shop, if you know what I mean. But anyway, less so again, digital banks. They don't have a lot of product offering. Most of the ones you find that are available right now or that have opened up are offering things like, savings plans and maybe investments and, maybe budgeting. They tend to focus on a niche, but there's an opportunity to do more. Anyway, so those are the things I wanted to share with you. I don't know if, digital banks will ever, take off given the potential they have. So I'm wondering what you guys think. Do you think you would sign up for a digital banking service? I'm thinking I would. I know there are a couple in this zone and that I've been looking at actually for a while. I want to see what they have to offer. Yeah, I mean, just to try it out and see. But would you consider, banking just only digital and forgetting about the traditional banks? I don't know. I would want to hear your thoughts. So let me know. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So thank you for joining me again. If you know anyone that you think will find this topic interesting or may want to share their viewpoint, please feel free to share this video with them. Until next time, it's me, your go-to personal and business finance coach, and I hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye now.